So, good morning, everyone. So, somebody told me this was the best slot during these days. I don't actually know what that means, but I'm glad that you all are here. So, my name is Henrik, and I represent a company called Readmill. We're based in Berlin, Germany. And I just want to kick off by showing you a picture. That was actually one of the main reasons why I started this company with my best friend, David. So, what you're seeing here is Katarina Fake. For those of you that don't know her, she founded a photo sharing company called Flickr. And we met her last year in Silicon Valley. She showed us this book. And this was just when me and David were getting really, really into ebooks and how ebooks would change the way we discover books, the way we socialize around books, and the way we read books. But this was something I had never seen before. This is her copy of Ulysses. And when she flicked through this book, every single page looked like this. And I was obviously amazed. All of these things that you see, all of the scribbles in the margin, all of the highlights, all of the post-it notes. It's what we call marginalia, and that's what Readmill is all about. She read this book 5 times. Spent immense amount of time in it. But I was amazed when I saw this, but she was depressed. And I couldn't figure out why. And she told us that's because she spent so much time in it, but she could never share any of this with anybody. All of these things that she has found out, all of these insights that she developed reading in this book is unshareable to the world. Some of them were public, some of them were private, so you couldn't really give the book to anyone. And when we left, she said, well, now when you leave, nobody will ever see this again. This is totally unshareable. It's stuck inside of my copy of the book in my bookshelf in my home. So when we left, we decided to change that. So I'm going to show you actually a preview of our new beta, which hopefully works. So what we developed is a piece of technology that lets you share a lot of interesting attention data and metadata and interesting parts from books you read. So you can see our reader. This is books I'm reading right now. You can see how much time I've spent in the book, how much time I have left, and how far I've come. You see the segments in the progress bar in the Steve Jobs book. That's actually times when I sat down reading the book. And each of them also connected to a location, so I can actually see where I spend time reading books. Or maybe find out where the best reading spot in Monaco is. Which is good for you. We'll be spending the rest of the weekend here. If I go into Aaron Walter, that I'm reading right now, we've developed a very clean, simple reading experience that doesn't disturb the actual habit of reading or the action of reading with a Facebook chat or anything silly like that. But when you find an interesting thing in this book, when you find something that you want to share or save for later, we make it very, very easy for you to highlight it. Tap the highlight button. You see this really nice curtain coming down. You can add a comment to it, share it to social services if you want, and click send. And that's done. Now this piece of history, this piece that you've discovered in this book is saved forever. And how we discover these and kind of share these ideas becomes really, really interesting, where you can actually see what your friends think about the same pieces. So you can at any time view all of your highlights inside of the book. And you can see what your friends think about it. You can also jump to that piece inside of the book, so you can read it in context. So imagine searching for a quote on Google, finding it, seeing which book it is, buying that book, downloading it, and then tapping, opening it in our reader, and then seeing that quote in context and reading, the wider meaning of that, and also see what your friends and peers think about it. We think that discovering books and discovering great things to read is going to change a whole lot over the next coming years. And it becomes increasingly important when our time for reading books actually shrinks a whole lot. So when we finish up with a quote, or a tweet actually, that Evan Williams, the founder of Twitter, said a while back. Well, he said, think about this. Over the next 10 years, you can only read 60 books, so choose very carefully. Thank you.